I'm here in the Lafayette Park, right in front of the White House. The White House is just behind me. In the last 5 minutes or so, there's been heavy tear gas has been thrown into the crowd. Hundreds of people ran out, and this has been the game in the last hour or so. The riot police move forward, and then the crowd disperses, they run out, and then they drift back. If you can see, they're walking back now. But we understand the riot police are now further out than they have been. This comes after a day of largely peaceful protesting. There was a big crowd here early at the day, around 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. They were joyous, they were singing Black Lives Matter and chanting about no justice, no peace. But within the last hour or so, there's definitely been a change in the mood. It's a much darker mood, more aggressive. We haven't seen any major battles yet between the protesters and the police. Let's remember, last night there was extensive vandalism right at the end of the protest. But this protest has these two themes. On one side, you have the protesters who are trying to avoid violence, avoid these confrontations, and the minority is trying to get into some sort of clash with the police. Donald Trump has said that he wants to, Antifa, the group, he said in a tweet that he wants to denounce them as a terrorist organization. Now, the problem with that is twofold. First of all, it's not clear if he can designate a domestic group a terrorist organization. That was more tear gas coming off, by the way. The second thing is that Antifa really isn't a solid organization with a hierarchy. It's more of a collective group. It stands for anti-fascism. And it's basically this loose collective group of people who come together to oppose on the street what they call fascist activity. But this has been the position of the government, of Donald Trump's administration. He's trying, in a way, almost delegitimizing these protests to say, well, there's another thing that's just been shot by the police to try and disperse the crowd. It's this attitude of the government saying that far radical leftists are organizing this, or Antifa is organizing it. It is a kind of way of stealing from the protests the legitimate anger so many people here feel for what they call a long history of abuse by the police against minorities in this country.